gents again. Good to see you too. Michael has changed, his head's turned upside down.
No, the joke's on you, it always was. Now it's right.
No, like, as someone who has very limited hair, I can see by the stubble, you still could grow a nice coif if you like.
Yeah, it's such a pain though, it really is.
Is that what
It's much easier to just do the beard thing, because then I don't have to do anything. Thank you. Well, I get confused with Dr. Robotnik frequently, but there are worse things. I just discovered mustache wax. It's become my whole personality. But as midlife crises go, it's kind of hard.
So, it's been a couple years since I saw you guys, and My Hero Academia has not slowed down at all. I feel like it is constantly getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. What do you think is the reason why it continues? Besides the fact there's plenty of stories, I mean, just because there's stories doesn't mean it has to continue.
That's true. Quick anecdote on that topic. I feel like I've talked to a lot of people this weekend and this year who just started watching the show. Like literally are walking up to me saying like, yeah, I'm on season 2 and I love it. And I'm like, that is incredible for a show to be out as long as this. This is what, 8 years now? Something like 8 or 9 years? Wow. And there's still so many people discovering this. And I think maybe it's because on some level, we've sort of already captured all the older brothers and sisters, and now we're getting the younger brothers and sisters.
The cult has grown.
I think it's growing. Yes.
The indoctrination.
That's right.
I also think it has to do with streaming, because it's on streaming places, and they're like, hey, if you like this, you'll like this.
But you know, it's like with anything. I mean, everything streams, but not everything, endures. And I think it has to be really good. And I think with My Hero Academia, there's a lot of reasons that people are really drawn to the characters and the story. For me, I think because, we're definitely living in the age of superhero media. I love comic book films, and, we love the MCU, all that stuff, and why not? What's not to love? But I feel like My Hero is kind of the antidote to the typical Western view of superheroes, because unlike your Captain Americas and your Thors, nothing wrong with them, by the way, My Hero is more about finding your power within a group. Rather than one person being the hero. It's all about kind of found family and learning who you are and how you fit in to a larger dynamic, which is, to me, I think, a uniquely Japanese take on the superhero trope. But it's fresh, it's interesting, it's very relatable. I think most of us learn who we are because of who we spend most of our time with, and I think My Hero really captures that in a way that I haven't seen done in superhero. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Well, that leads me to my next question, is that you talked about how, you are who you hang around with, who you spend your time with. Without naming names, who are the people that you spend time with that you feel make you who you are? We'll start with...
We're not married to Chris, we're married to each other. It's true, we're married in real life. We married.
Although I feel a disturbance in the force. Kellen, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you two are supposed to share. You're married.
What's that?
Though I think on mic 3 we need a little more juice on mic 3.
A little bit more juice, testing.
Or mic 2, whichever one that is.
Peter Piper.
Yeah.
Peter Piper.
That's all right.
Peter Piper. No. Unique New York. Unique New York. Red leather, yellow leather,
You need unique New York. That one. All right. So, welcome, Kellen. You got your own special little hey intro. We were just asking each other who in your life makes you who you are. So we were going to start with Brandon and Michael, but we want someone other than your husband. But it was really good you started that way.
That's my first answer, yeah. Did you answer yet?
Nobody's answered. Okay, we're going down the line.
Yeah, so Kevin, we'll start with you then if we're going down the line.
Once it's done a certain way. You like chaos.
These days, I feel like my cohort is just my kids, and I spend all my time with them. And so someday I'm gonna have a social life again, and it's gonna be cool, but for now, it's just dad mode. It's just like full-time dad mode all the time. All 3 of my boys are in productions right now. One's a musical, and then One is a play called Radio Girls, super excited about that. And so I just volunteer a lot at the theater with them and spend a lot of time with them. And so I end up learning all the 14-year-old slang.
Oh yeah.
I'm so sick and tired of 6'7", I can't take it anymore.
It is totally skibbity.
Can't take it anymore. We have to stop with 6'7".
No cap. So I have to ask you, are you a stage dad? Or
Yeah, I mean, sort of. Like, I never pushed them in this direction. And in fact, they were super interested in sports. So I always was like, let's do sports. And then my guys got a little bit older and realized that theater is full of cute girls. And so they were like, we want to do theater now. And so
sports and drama is a powerful combination.
That works.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to you, Kellen, and then we'll get to these guys.
Well, my parents have been my number one fan since the beginning, and vice versa. I'm on the spectrum, autism, and hey, right on, we got some autistic family. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You came to the right place.
Oh yeah. These are my home. These are my home. But growing up in the 90s with it, and it's kind of unsure what it was, what to do with it, but they did, an amazing job. I think I can say, and they've always, just been there for me. So definitely them, and my boys in my production company, the Ink Tank. We meet every Wednesday, and they've contributed heavily to my sense of humor since, and the love I feel in my life. So I would say those 7.
Really? Nice. So you now you're on these things. You hype this up.
This mic, does this work? Can you hear me at all? It is a little bit. Oh, yeah, no, it does work. I just have to get close to the microphone. There we go. Alright, so if we can't choose each other. Right, or that's an obvious thing.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
That's my answer too.
We have a LARP crew. We LARP. Dungeons and Dragons on steroids, y'all. The LARP is like 600 people strong, and it's a big LARP. But we have our party, obviously, and we're very close with them.
They're awesome. We slay demons together.
We do.
It's this whole thing. It's like every month it takes place, and it's an all weekend thing. It starts at 8 o'clock on Friday and ends at 5 a.m. Sunday, and we're there for the whole thing. And afterwards, you bond in a weird way. Like, we're all just there to have fun, And it's kind of the purest form of acting for those of us from the business that are in it, because we just get to improv our way once we know our characters, and we get to improv all these cool dynamics and relationships. And like, man, we run each other through the ringer. Like, our crew leader was like, presented us with gifts last LARP that were supposed to help our characters. We were like, we walked away, and I'm like, I just live in LARP world, please. It's so much better than anything else 2025 has offered. But yeah, our LARP crew, they're wonderful people who not only are, we love them because we have fun with them at LARP, but they've really taught us a lot about who we are as a person. And that's something to say. I mean, I'm pushing 50 years old to learn new things about yourself at that age. And not just that I can kill demons. Magic was in the old book. It's just really, how do you look like that at 50? Shave your head, mustache wax.
Because I'm not going to say I'm nearly the same age as you, because then you'll see how genetics works, folks. You have good genes. I obviously had bad genes growing up.
Yeah, I guess I'm just lucky because I do not take care of myself. I just wake up in the morning like, thanks, God.
So I have a question about this LARP thing. If it's all weekend, it starts Friday through Sunday. So what happens if you die Friday afternoon? Do you just have to lay in a field for 3 days?
Pretty much. Well, then you go on NPC shift.
Okay.
And then you get to be demon. So yeah, if you die, don't worry, there are contingency for that.
Okay.
Also, if you perma die, get good.
It's true. I have dancing light orbs as my first level, and I'm like, you're useless.
I I died my very first encounter in game. He was there.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to attend this too much, but long story short, he was like, yeah, I'll try battle with you because I'm a frontline fighter of a tank in the game, and something happened in the game. The first battle he was in was with essentially the Pope of this religion.
A murderous Pope.
Yeah, who was insane because the martyrs had returned from 1,000 years after this genocide and this whole thing. But yeah, he went down.
This was me. I was like, on guard, crazy Pope, and she was like, 555. I was like, what? No, that means single hand. And then someone was like, resume, and they were like, what did we learn?
On guard, crazy Pope is crazy.
If you see the Pope on the battlefield, do not engage. Do not engage.
That's an end boss. That's not a.
If you see a Pope going on a rampage, go the other way.
Well, are you ready for the long line? Are you ready?
My hero.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I already prepped them. The first 5 minutes for me, I like to get to know you guys and see how you guys are in real life, and then they're going to ask you a bunch of My Hero Academia questions. And so we'll start off with this young lady. Say your name and what's your question?
Have no fear, citizens. I am here to save FanX from overhaul.
I feel like that's a personal attack.
I'm glad they have no hands I have.
Alright, so my name's Erica. You can call me Small Knight. My question for you guys is, what is your favorite moment in all 7 seasons?
I can start because I think about this a lot, and it's you know, you get to play a lot of characters in this business if you're lucky, and it's rare that you have like a scene that like immediately tells you the actor who this person is, and just so you just have that instant connection. At least in my experience, it's pretty rare. And I can choose from a lot of great moments, but my favorite thing with Tanya is when he's on top of the exit sign. It's a perfect summary of who he is, because like he's doing the right thing, and that's when the audience figures out, okay, he's not a total jackass, he's actually good. He's just a little much, and you know, he's a type A person. Now, look at me, I can't even talk about it. That's how I had to roll. But like even his getting to, he's like, we're gonna do the right thing, and he gets there imperfectly. He's like, and I'm like, this is a perfect character moment. And so like, I live for stuff like that. So that I can choose so many, but it's unlikely ones like that I love. So that's my answer.
I really enjoy the evolution of Aizawa's sleeping bag. Somehow we're to the point where he has arms and legs on it. And I don't know how he got there, I don't know who made that for him, he definitely didn't make it for himself. And so every season I'm like, what's it gonna have this time? And so that's been my joy, year after year.
I think my favorite so far has been where we get to sort of peel back the layers of All Might a little bit. I really enjoyed the flashback scene, what I like to call the first hospital scene, because it is the first hospital scene, where there's the back and forth between All Might and Night back in the day when they were working together, and that was my very emotional.
My favorite scene is when Overhaul shut Night up permanently. No, my real favorite. I love when Overhaul just came up to the League of Villains and basically T-posed on them. That was Aura Farming before Aura Farming. I love this guy. For disclaimer. Near far away.
And don't worry, we all love you, Overhaul.
I heard someone shirtless.
No,
Let's speak for all of us.
What's your name?
My name is Larry.
Okay. Do you have a question?
What is your favorite voice line?
Favorite voice line?
Aizawa does this in every episode. So I'm gonna do it for you here. I haven't done it for Salt Lake yet. This will be my first time. So enjoy this. Get ready. Get ready for unprecedented, unparalleled acting. Are you guys ready for it?
FanX. Get
In
TMZ.
almost every episode, Aizawa utters his iconic line.
I wish someone had roses to throw on stage. Yeah.
Do they give Emmys for Comic-Con panels? All right, guys. What's a favorite line? Was yours like, oh, you guys?
It's a toss-up between when he says "I'm ingenious" and Sting, thank you. That's not what I call him. Said that like, I'm ingenious, great, but also like, it's a time between that and a punch to the scrotum is unforgivable. A more philosophically true statement I've never heard.
It's a sad one, but it's a good line. It's everything that Night Eye says after telling Muriel that he's going to become the greatest hero the world's ever seen. Fun fact, I was in tears that entire time, and I really thought they weren't going to take that take, because that was just a single run. And that was right after I heard Rico say the words, "Please don't leave me." Right before I started my monologue, I was like, and I came out and I went to the break room and I was just sitting there trying to like, and Rico turns the corner and we looked at each other because he had recorded right before me. We saw each other and we didn't say anything and we just walked up to each other and hugged each other. And we went all like ships in the night to different studios in the building.
Keep that, Kellen.
I can't. I love that story more every time I hear it. Rico's the best. I haven't been to a con with him in a second. Yeah. Rico just ventured, like, he'll just pop up at the most random places. Like you could be on a safari in Zimbabwe and Rico.
He knows what his secret is.
In Zimbabwe. Yeah, that's
I
right.
tricked him to give me his phone number.
My favorite one is simply a goal without a plan is just a wish. Because it's really good advice from a really bad man.
So she's got mini ducks for them. Okay. So go ahead, while she's passing those out, go right ahead.
Alright.
Did you bring gifts?
What offerings have you done to sacrifice?
My name's Erin. My question, I guess, is kind of related to Brandon's last answer. Was there a scene that was particularly emotional for you while recording, or one where you're really proud of the performance you gave?
Besides Chris's one he just did seconds ago.
Well, yeah, I think
I feel like after the second season, Tanya's job was to just be in the background doing weird stuff and occasionally come on and break your heart. Like a very emotional line, which is really fun because most of the time he's in the background, you're like, devastating line, and then it's a good game. But I think the more recent one is when he's with Todoroki after he's fought and all that, and Matrenga, I love Matrenga so much, Dave, and we love acting off each other, and like we were similar situations to you and Rico. We were at the studio at the same time, and he was recording something else that day, but I got to respond to. No, excuse me, I have it backwards. I got to lay down track first, and so then he got to respond to me, being like, "You were amazing," you know, and that was a very like emotional moment. Also, because he's sitting right here and you direct me on Tanya's line, he gets to throw back the line. That's the meddling and whatever. I can't remember the whole thing because I get all. Thank you. You available for season? No, but just, we come in and he's like, he's directing me remotely because I'm in LA now. He's like, let's do it. And we're watching it, we're seeing it, everything. And then Chris is like, okay, let's do it. And we did it. We were both crying. So I was like, oh, I'm going to say what? I can consider myself to be here. Honestly. You don't understand. We are so, we get into it and we'll do a line. And maybe it sounds great. Like we nailed it cool and we're very proud of it. But you don't see his acting with us going, oh, there's nothing sexy or cool about how we cry. It's that ugly, you've just been grounded for a week cry, and you're like, like, totally what you don't see behind the scenes.
I forgot your question. I'm sorry.
Just if there was a time that was particularly emotional for you while recording, or a scene that you were really proud of your
I think season 4 and just the whole Shirakumo career. For a guy that has spent most of the seasons not really emoting at all, Aizawa suddenly turns on the waterworks, and that was, I really relied a lot on our director Colleen, because I was feeling so emotional about it that I feel like everything I was doing was way too much, and so it's like, you gotta pull it back a little bit, because it's still Aizawa, and even though he's crying, and even though he's in the moment and he's very emotional, he's still cool. So it's like, we have to cry while being cool. This is an interesting challenge. And it was kind of a catharsis too. It was a scene that fans had been talking to me about for so many years before that. And just like, what are you gonna do when Aizawa cries? And so I was, I was so ready for it, so excited for it. And so I really hope we get to see more, maybe in Vigilante season 2 also, because it seems to be coming in January, and so we're gonna maybe get some more teen Aizawa, which is crazy, but we can cross our fingers.
I mean, there's a depressing answer, but that's for another day. I think the one that makes me really emotional when I think about it is we were doing a press tour for season 4. And we went to New York Comic-Con for it, and we had our sort of sneak peek of season 4 on Madison Square Garden stage. And Overhaul was my first big anime role ever. So, and my dad and sister were there in the audience too. So just to be there on that stage and see the first big anime performance and have my family there for it, it was very special to me.
Name your question.
Hi, my name's Eddie. My question is, what has been or will be your favorite character development for the character you voice in Wehkamp?
Oh, I like how she tries to get you against some spoilers. What will be your favorite?
That's my favorite thing when people come up. It's like, do you know anything that's going to happen? It's like, do we talk to Horikoshi? Yeah, we have on speed dial.
Let me just FaceTime him right now. But
I think Sir Night is pretty straightforward. Where he's like, oh, Minoria, you surprised me. My vision of the future was not what I thought it would be, and this is a first for me, but he accepts it. And I think that's the message for Sir Night is that changing your opinion in light of new information is never a weakness. That's what I would say.
I said earlier about the moment on the exit sign being a perfect summary when I'm just like, oh yeah, I totally get who this guy is, and then totally got thrown for a loop in season 2 when he makes the choices he does to try to do right by his brother, which is also the worst thing he could have done. But I understand it, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't know this guy as well as I thought, and sometimes you play a character and you're like, okay, this is just me. I mean, 10 is just me if I could run fast. I'm a type A personality. I'm always like, what's the door alarms? Anyone who's traveled with me in an airport knows I'm texting everyone. The plane leaves in 3 hours. Where should we But then that happened. It was a really cool story moment where you get to see this character make a choice that you're like, you can't imagine him making. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes characters make choices that they would never thought they'd make. And it can seem like it's a departure from who they are, but you're like, oh no, somewhere inside of you is this person who made that choice. and you get to understand that relationship. So for me, learning about Tenya was kind of like, his arc is learning that he doesn't have to do it alone. He doesn't have to be the person. Like, he's a sheepdog, so he's always trying to do the right thing, but he doesn't necessarily trust everyone else to arrive at the same conclusion, so he has to kind of micromanage everybody. And so his arc has been one to be able to sit back and be able to trust the people, to put faith in people that, yeah, we're all on the same page here, we're all fighting the same fight, we're all good. And so that's kind of been his big thing. And the best way he could have learned that from a narrative standpoint is what he went through with his brother. And so that was really, like, that was such a cool moment to see. Because at that point, we just been having fun comic relief, super, like, love those types of characters. Getting to see him go there and be so real. That was a tough scene to do, that alleyway scene. And it was, oh, I love it.
I'm a big fan of Aizawa and the little family he is making. I think I really want to see what happens with Eri. I love to see Shinso coming out of his shell and becoming everything he can be. I feel like the future is really bright for this little family and very dysfunctional and fun at the same time.
Best dad for sure. These are some emotional questions. I'm trying to keep it together up here. Yeah, this is like the tissue box episode. I mean, there's not really a lot of character development he gets, but I really appreciate that they put in that one part where Izuku tells him, like, apologize to Eri, and maybe I'll let you apologize to Pops too. And it's the look on his face, it's almost like he hadn't even considered that. Like, he was so set on his goal of making it up to his Pops for taking him off the street that he hadn't considered who he was hurting. So I want to think deep down in that pit, there's a spark of a spark of, you know, wanting to be forgiven somewhere. But, man, I guess we'll see.
Okay, now a funny one.
You might get your wish. In all seriousness, but my name is Jacob, and like Kellen, I'm on the opposite spectrum. Let's go! Heck yeah! So, my question for you all is there a particularly funny bit in the show that you struggled with recording?
In season 3, there's a point where Aizawa faces off with Dabi, or it seems to be Dabi. And so they have a fight, and it's a very short-lived fight, and it's sort of quickly revealed that this Dabi is maybe not all he seems to be. And so Colleen and I then were confronted with a scene where Aizawa runs back into the room and confronts another Dabi, surprise, surprise. And I forget what his actual line was, but as I was just reading it, I said, this guy's just a clone, he's not the real thing, I'll just stomp him, stomp, 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 he stomp, 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 stomp. The animation was like a Warner Brothers cartoon for a second. Suddenly it was Bugs Bunny, and Colleen and I both just died laughing.
Yeah, that's a Looney Tunes stuff right there.
Right, it was a very Looney Tunes moment, and so that has stuck with me through the years for sure.
I mess around in the booth a lot. I will flub takes, I will make fun of myself, whatever. But there was a scene, I can't remember the full context, I just know that the gang is dressing up like street toughs. And there's this shot where Tanya is in, actually, it's pretty awesome.
He has your mustache.
He has a mustache. And he's got the slick back hair, and I made some joke about him looking like the bad guy from Annie. And it was funny, we were trying a couple of things, because it's supposed to be a funny line, so we don't often get to improv, but I was like, can I try something? And I forget what the actual line was, but what I said first was just like, please keep this line, we can't keep that, we can't.
Japan's not gonna let us keep that. I understood it, but I was like, I think what I had him say, there's just a big flap at the end of it, where it's like flappy, flappy, flap, flap. And so we're like, yeah, what the hell do we do with that? And I was like, we're just a bad guys cruising for cheer. And the colleague was like, give me your use. He's like, we did that.
This guy right here is the master of thinking of like 3-line like bloopers for stuff that will never see the light of day.
Never should.
Yeah.
That will be perfect. That will be perfect.
He's like the Russell Williams of anime.
Very much so.
Oh, stop.
My first Sonata is when he's in the store with the action figure, like the super like pretty soldier. Yeah. Like I thought that was hilarious. I was like, oh, okay. It's funny.
I want to say like he doesn't do much funny stuff, but the one that was humorous was like he interrupted the whole scene. Like there's a negotiation scene with Shigaraki, and he interrupts the whole scene and said, "Get your feet off the table." That was the only time I've ever got to boss Eric Vale around it.
Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is McKenna, and before I get to my question, I just want to say that I fell in love with the guys' show and how what a good job you guys done, and it's been really great, and how characters that in the show, that way you guys had voice acting has done really great. And my question is, if you could say one thing to the character you play or voiced as, what would it be?
Apologize already. Get up there.
Let the right one in.
I just tell you to calm down a little bit. I don't need you to be quiet. You're an attendant. We need you to like. But you know, that's.
So I was very surprised when we saw how ripped Sir Night-Eye was. I was like, what? So I would say to Sir Night-Eye, how come we didn't see your abs until the end of season 4?
Thanks, guys.
Hi, my name is Kaylee, and my question is, what's your guys' favorite battle that happened?
Season 2 Sports Festival. Deku versus Todoroki.
That first like really big battle between Deku and Bakugo, that the choreography was just
I have to second that one. That's fine.
There's so many. I think my favorite for me personally was the fight that stayed in the alley. That was like such a good emotional fight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My name's Joaquin, and what was your favorite, like, hell yeah moment? Like, you have something you want back from
What's your favorite like?
I gotta say, I don't want to spoil too many people, but like the new season's 9 days away, so you guys gotta catch up. Also, all I'll say is the leg. I'll just say that.
I can't say mine because you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, it was like 8 years, and we got this. this, and I get to say a thing that I'm like, that is the most badass thing I've ever said. This is very good. I think.
Brandon, do you have something you can say?
Yeah, I mean, that overhaul fight was pretty good, I think.
That's like,
Yeah, where you could like see his reflection in his eyeball. Like they didn't have to go that hard. That was yeah, I just keep thinking of that battle where he's just like doing twirls while like sparks are flying all over the place. It's like, dude, that was really hell yeah for me. But you mean hell yeah for like our specific characters? Well, I did like when Deku tell them like apologize. I was like, yeah, hell yeah! I'm trying to keep going back to that, but it's true.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a height adjustment right there.
My name's Evelyn, and my question is, if you could voice any other character, who would it be?
Any other character you want to voice?
Not Lady.
Okay.
You would be with the exact same voice as
I could never do the job that Santa does, but I would love to play my own. Santa was born to play that role.
When I auditioned for Aizawa, and I also auditioned for Vlad King, the teacher of class 1B. And so, in some alternate reality, I'm just a guy with vampire teeth going like, all right, team, or whatever. And so, maybe him, I guess.
I adored the job that Kyle did, but I would love to try Golden Retriever energy.
Good question.
Hello. My name is Jax, and before I asked like my question, I just wanted to say that like the show My Hero is just great, and I really like it mostly, and I watch it so much because it gave me a way to bond with my dad. So we both watch anime together, and we've like watched like almost all of My Hero side by side, and the different reactions. But I just wanted to thank you guys for doing such a great job and giving me that. My question was though, I had like multiple questions, but they kept getting taken. But what is your opinion on Endeavor?
That one emoticon that has like that face.
Well, that's our time. Yeah, right. And what a complicated journey that character has gone down. I do think that the commitment from the author in regard to Endeavor on what I would call like a redemption arc with this character, I've loved to see that through all these seasons. Now, it doesn't mean that he's been a fan favorite all the time. He's done some really terrible things, of course. But I do think telling a redemption arc story is a really tricky job. And a lot of credit to Horikoshi for how he handled Endeavor, especially this last season with Dabi and how all that went down. I just feel was so well done. And so, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens with season 8. I will say overall, he's been an incredible character to watch in fights as well. You know, towards the end here, I feel like in some ways Endeavor has become even more powerful, if that's possible, because he's finally coming to terms with all these things that he's sort of left by the wayside for way too long. And so, and actually facing that stuff is making him stronger as a character. That's a cool message, you know, that actually trying to right your own wrongs in your life can make you stronger. Like, that's a really cool message. And then of course Patrick Seitz is just the bomb, and it's incredible. So there's a lot to like there.
I mainly asked because when Endeavor first came in and I learned about everything, I was like, I hate this person with all of my heart. But then when he like fell, when he was fighting with the main person, no spoilers, I don't want to give spoilers, but when he was fighting and he fell into the forest, like that scene where he was like talking to himself, I was like, oh, he's more likable, I guess, now. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
fan question, and then I will wrap up with one final question, because we're running out of time. So,
We're so sorry, guys.
I'm knew I was going to disappoint somebody because you had such a long line. So I just, unfortunately, but you are the last one, so.
Hello everybody, my name is Brandon, and I was wondering if you guys could say, I am here in your character's voice, please.
I am here.
I am here!
I am here. I'm here.
Whenever I get a large group, two or more, large group, I always ask this last question because you guys know each other very well. You guys hang out with each other, you do cons, you work together. So my question, and I'll start with Kellen at the end, and we just walk down something. What makes these guys so special?
They're so smart, all of them. Like I can throw anything at these guys and they'll yes and keep it going, and that's something special for sure. And just so kind. I could ask any one of these guys, hey, could I have your liver? And they consider it at least. I couldn't ask for a better co-star or co-cast. Yeah. They know food.
I don't, they do. I just follow these guys around to food. That's my game. I show up to food. This has been such an incredible experience being a part of this cast because I do feel like Colleen did such an amazing job bringing us together. She really had a vision for how the English dub of this show was going to go, and she just freaking knocked it out of the park. And so I second everything Kellen said as far as like just it's a good group of people who have like really big hearts and really actually love this show. That is not always true. Sometimes you work on shows with people that are like, yeah, it's a show. That is not the case with this show. Like the people, the cast of this show love this show. So I love that.
I'll just go back around over here. Like Kellen, I adore Kellen. And what's not to love? I also like that laugh. I could be having the worst day. If I hear Kellen laugh, I'll be like, it's like just heart suddenly. And Chris, I freaking love. I think we really bonded a few years ago when we were doing a Tennessee con together, and now I would honestly say, like, not only would I ask him for a liver, for help on my taxes. Really, really smart dude. Just also a great actor, great director. Got to work with him in that capacity. And Brandon, I love this man. But I wanted to tell a quick story to illustrate how much the cast of this show really loves each other. You know, so we did so many cons together for so many years, especially when the show really took off, that it was frequent that about every other weekend, at least 8 of us would be together. And so we just got used to that. And then the pandemic happened, and then cons were no more for the better part of 2 years. When we first all got together, and I don't remember which con, it was over several cons, and we finally got to reconnect physically with everyone, you know, in real time with everyone, and we were so used to, you know, our con family. There were tears, there was so much tears and hugging, because it had been like, oh my God, I missed this so much. When David Trey and I first hugged, you would have thought we were long-lost lovers. We were like, in a room, we're like, we're in a room. It was just lovely. So like we've been, all of us up here have been like, I think combined we've probably been doing this for 100 years. And I think this is one of the best shows we've ever been in terms of who we get to share the experience with. It is. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Dave, for saying yes.
He's gorgeous, has terrible taste in men.
Well, going down the line here, Kellen's vocal cords are like a Stradivarius violin. And I mean that in all possible permutations. Like, you take the bow and you turn it and you like rub the wood against the strings to get crazy sounds that like, Kellen, I remember before Saskia and Mia now. Can I please play someone who's not awful? That's what made me so happy. Your range is incredible. So, Wehkamp has an insane emotional depth to everything that he does, and we talked about it at dinners here and there throughout the year. And I was like, oh, man, oh, this is deep. This is a very deep man. Very, yeah. Super talented. And so there's a lot of information going into every read. I'm very inspired by it. This is something. I am always so inspired by Michael. I think I've just been around. And also, I engineered all of his auditions for several years, and I was like, whoa. It was really cool to watch, and so I'm always inspired. That used to be
I just want to say on behalf of FanX, because I had a chance to moderate for you guys a couple times. Not only are they fantastic, talented artists, but they're just great guys. Wonderful people. On behalf of FanX, thank you so much for coming here. And they're here for the weekend.